lanes. I've been driving this train, years in this lane. There's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Welcome back, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello there.
Hello there. Okay. If you're joining us, guys, we are so late because I'm telling you, my my StreamYard, it wanted to act totally crazy tonight, and I had to delete the other one and put this one in. And anyway, Kimberly, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing well. How about you?
I am well. I am well, even with the technical difficulties, and
Yes.
we are all well. We're gonna claim that in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. Well, what did you think? What did you think? We only had 2 episodes to watch this time around. What did you think about the 2 episodes that we saw?
I loved it. Glad that we got a little time to live our life outside of trying to watch 4 hours of Mavs. But I think it was a roller coaster for all the couples. Nobody is giving me a definite yes yet for both of the people in the relationship. So I just felt like we were on a roller coaster ride for 2 episodes.
Well, what about Megan and Derek now? You know, they're expecting, they got a bun in the oven, so you know they better stay together.
I don't know. Megan is like, it depends. If she has to slam that bathroom door one more time, she might be out of there.
Yeah, if he don't keep that toilet seat down.
Exactly.
It's funny how the 2 of them went from arguing and she was feeling ambushed, and now they are so lovey-dovey and all, they seem to be all in.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think out there? What do you guys think? Do you feel like is it forced? I've got a theory. I have to wonder, and this is me not trusting production, just like Chad. I, I have to wonder if the 2 of them knew each other already. I really do. And then they just booked them for the show, because I think this is too much coincidence, and they got pregnant like so quickly. Like, does anybody else ever wonder if there's some kind of conspiracy going on? What
It's
is it?
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you something. Speaking of Belinda don't like him, I think Belinda and her daughter Jalen. I think there's something fishy about those 2.
Hmm. I thought it was odd that they both ended up on the show. That's what I said. The first episode is
You
like, how
did.
they both end up on the show together. I thought they had connections, but then it seems
Hmm.
that Jalen just mentioned her mom, and I'm like, okay, if you say so.
I think there's more to it than that. But how? And then the other thing is, well, how does she just mention her mom? And they asked her, does she want to be on the show? So does that mean that she doesn't have to do all the rigorous application process that the rest of them do? Like, I don't understand that. I don't
Right. Or did
understand.
she rush through and apply? Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
either.
It's some fishy about Belinda and and Jalen, and I don't know. I just don't know. But we're gonna get there when we get there in a few minutes. But we're gonna start here. We had StreamYard has made this extremely like more difficult for me. I'm sorry. Like, they got this new multi-stream Mars situation going on.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Okay, but we're gonna start here. Okay, so speaking of Belinda, Belinda is in bed and she is telling us like her and Chad are starting to have some problems and some issues and situations and other situations. And he's talking about the dog. Now, I don't understand why she didn't understand, because I heard him very clearly the first day they got back from the honeymoon and she was talking about the dog sleeping in the bed. He said, well, I don't know about that. We're going to have to see about that. Well, that was his way when somebody says we'll have to see about that, I guess I get that from my father because my father was also, former military. When somebody says we're going to see about that, that basically means they're not liking that idea. Did she not understand that?
Yep, I think she didn't. He was too soft with that answer, and it should have been I guess, a definite no, but it was too soon for a definite no. It was too early in the relationship, so he tried to play it safe, and now he's eating his words. He should have just said, "No, let's find a bed, maybe on the side of the bed
Mm-hmm.
for the
And
dog."
see, I'm to prove my point. See what StreamYard did? I posted something. Hey there, Mona. Miss Wilson, I posted something to Miss Wilson, and girl, it doubled down. See, I'm not lying. I'm not making this stuff up. This is what StreamYard is doing right now. They're glitching really, really bad. But anywho. Uh, yeah, I think there's something wrong. I think there's something wrong with that. I think
Yeah.
that he could have told her, but then I also wondered maybe he thought she was going to overreact. I don't know. Um,
Hmm.
and then the other thing of it is, let's see if I can find it. Um, that's not the well, I'll leave it on there. But they're in the bed. There's a part where they're in the bed and she's telling him to come over to the bed. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, I see where my thing is at. She's saying, but I like you in bed with me, right? He's
Hmm.
saying, well, yeah, but the dog is usually in the bed. So, and then I think the other part of it is, I think what Chad's not telling her. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know how everybody else's marriage is, but not all married people go to bed at the same time. People do realize that, right? Like some people work different shifts from their spouse. And so his way of winding down, he likes to have like a little wine and sit maybe in the living room. He's watching a little TV, a little CNN, whatever, what have you. And she wants him to be right up under her. But he says that when he comes to bed at home, it's the dog on his leg, and also she's on her phone just scrolling Instagram like she's a 25-year-old. So, what do you think, Kimberly?
I agree, and that's very common. I'm seeing for people older in age, like 40s and 50s, that just sit and scroll all day. It's crazy. I don't even do that, and I'm in my 30s. Like, I don't understand it. It's weird, and they've done so many studies to prove that it's not healthy to scroll. So I understand, like you said, people go to bed at different times. You shouldn't be forced to go to bed. Why can't she wait up in the living room with him? Why does she have to rush to bed? If she really wants to spend time with him, they should come to some kind of a common ground, maybe 30 minutes a day, spending time with each other before bed or something. And then you can go scroll and he can sit and have his wine in the living room.
Okay, so say that one more time.
I think they should come to a common ground, maybe spend 30 minutes or so before bed together. And then
Hmm.
he can stay in the living room, and sip his wine. And then she can go to bed and scroll until she falls asleep, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah, like that, something like that. I mean, it's giving. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more see it from her side a little bit for a second here, right? It's giving that maybe she's the kind of person after raising the three kids, the husband was always on the road traveling or either at somebody's house cheating or in the hotel cheating somewhere. It's giving that she needs a little bit more attention and a little bit more time with her spouse. So maybe that's also an area that she's coming from, but it's also kind of reminding me of that the women this season, like Rhonda, like Brittany, they are requiring so much from these men because of past hurts that it's too much for any one person to bear, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. The bed seems small. Well, that's because they're both big people. I think
Oh gosh.
that bed don't look that bed don't look that small to me. I'm
To
thinking
me either.
those two people are big. I mean, they're
Right.
they're thickums, okay? She's a thickum and he's a
Exactly.
thickum, and I still see space, so that's why I'm thinking king size. But I could be wrong. Don't give me the lying about it. I don't know, but I just tell
That
you,
was
I know
funny.
she does. Yeah, she does not like him. I'm sorry, guys. Y'all tell me if you tell me that even when she's talking to him, she doesn't look him in the eye anymore. He's looking at her. I mean, we're gonna talk about it. let me just no, let me go ahead and get through their stuff. Let me go ahead and get through their stuff. So we don't have to come back to them because this is sad. This is really sad. Wait a minute. What did my girl say? Yeah, she does. Yeah, she needs therapy. I mean, and that's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with needing therapy. I need a little therapy myself. We can all need therapy at times, but the thing
Yes.
of it too is to recognize it and to recognize, have some self awareness. Like we know that Rhonda doesn't have any self awareness. She's over here bullying and beating up on poor Pat emotionally. When I say beating up, I'm saying emotionally, verbally. She's cursing him out all the time. Everything, nothing he can do is right. Belinda is now starting to show some of those same things, but she wasn't cursing and fighting and fussing with him when he upgraded her ring, though, was he? Was she? She wasn't
No.
doing none of that. She was all, ooh, this is pretty. This is pretty. Ooh, ooh, I could get some money for this when I traded in and pawned it.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, Felicia. Big bags. That's okay. I mean, I think both of them are attractive. I'm not trying to body shame nobody, but I do think they're both
Right.
attractive. But we've all gotten, because I'm in their bracket, we've all gotten older and we've put on some weight. I'm no longer a size 4. She's clearly no longer a size 4. Because when you look at her, Belinda, honestly, I think she's pretty. But when you look at her, you look at her daughter, you can see that her daughter is a exact replica of her 20 years ago.
Hmm.
That's what I see. So
Hmm.
I think she's attractive. You saying it? We still on it look like it's a full size. That is not no full size bed, girl.
No, I know for sure that
You
ain't.
get
Not
one
with them two
person,
sizes.
right? One person can't hardly get into a full size bed. It's just one person of their size, not two. But yes, I agree with you on that, Mona. Yes, Rhonda is selfish. We gonna get to her in a minute. I'm gonna say that. Let me put a star on that comment because yes, it's definitely. But anyway, wait a minute, hold on. So let me get some more stuff out about that because I don't want to come back to these couples. We're gonna try to hit it and quit it tonight, okay? Because I've had so much struggle with this StreamYard. Guys, be sure you like the video while you're waiting for me to find the right picture. Okay, give me a second. Give me 1 second. And so we got Belinda. She's doing her confessional and she's saying all the things of the things. She's saying, well, Chad, he's grumpy. I don't know if I can do this. I've been through so much. What you over there laughing, girl? I've
And
been
then the
through.
way the comment is saying big backs, and then her face just popped up. The comment you still got there.
Let me take that down so we can. I'm just trying to body shape over here. But okay. Yeah, but so she's saying all the things about, well, I love my husband. He's a good person. He's got a kind heart. He's generous. And she's pulling out some things out of her behind her R's,
Hmm.
to say nice about him. But then she goes through a
Yeah.
long laundry list of things of what's wrong with him. And one of the things is, like I said, getting back to the dog. Now, tell me down in the comments what you think. Is it okay if you're a single person? Now you got this dog or this cat, but particularly dogs, because cats they tend to run and hide. We hardly ever see them. I've got one of those myself. But tell me this, you dog lovers. If you have a dog and you're single and you say you want to be married, is the priority now that everything should be the way it always was with your dog and you and your dog? Or does the priority become, I'm going to compromise with my partner, and my partner says he doesn't like this big old standard size poodle, which is large, on the bed? My partner says that this dog barks all day, but I'm going to argue with my partner and say, no, the dog doesn't bark. Like, lady, it's not a goldfish, it's a dog. Of course it barks. Are you
Hmm.
kidding me? Are
Right.
you kidding me? So then we've got they have a discussion. They decide to they kind of actually have an argument. So then he invites her over to his house because he leaves. He goes home back to his condo, right? He's got a nice condo. She gonna miss living in that nice crib. But anyway,
Yeah.
she comes over and they agree to talk. So he gives her a kiss. So there he is. He's leaning in for the kiss, and they're sitting there having the conversation. And she's saying, well, things like, babe, uh, what happened? This is not going right. This is not seem to be going well. He says, well, I didn't expect when we had the phone conversation with Dr. Pia. I didn't expect you to bring up all the stuff. I expect you to bring up what happened at the restaurant with production, but you know, that production is trying to put a wedge, and she's like, put a wedge in between us. What are you talking about? He's like, no, not us. We're fine. Which, pay attention, Chad, no, you guys are not fine, because you have not
Mm-hmm.
told her enough about that dog and sat her down and, took her out for a nice dinner and just really talked to her about that dog being in the bed. That's a problem. But you're not facing that, and she's not facing that, right? But so then he says, well, no, the problem with production is they're trying to drive a wedge between your daughter, Jalen, and her husband, Josh. Oh, no, that could never be. They're fine. Now, everybody thinks everybody's fine, but we're going to find out on decision day next week, right?
Right.
Oh, they're fine. They're fine. They're fine. Oh, that's absolutely. I can call Jalen and Josh now, and I can find out, and so forth and so on. What she does do later on, she does talk to Jalen, but notice that she doesn't talk to Josh, who is the direct person that she should be talking to. That's the source, not your daughter, which is the side, secondhand information, secondary, tertiary information. And we know that also that Josh is a liar. He lied about the ex that he wasn't going to contact, that he was going to unfriend, that he never unfriended. He lied about Burning Man, that he said was not a big deal, which it became a big deal. He lied about the post-nup that he claimed that his partner wanted his wife to sign. And then he said, well, no, you don't have to sign it now. Okay. So these are things I'm kind of concerned about. Anybody following me on this? What do you think,
Yeah,
Kimberly?
you're right. Yeah, so far it is true. But we'll see what happened. I would have liked Chad to say, here are the text messages, or here is the call log where we talked, or anything, but he just kind of shut down, and it seemed like he was assuming that, they were going through issues or whatever. Maybe we'll see later on some behind the scene footage, because they like to pull that out on us. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Both, it could be either side lying.
I'm seeing these comments. Okay. Miss Wilson is saying Fluffy needs her own bed. Right. And that's what I think. I mean, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong with a dog having their own bed and sleeping on the floor on their bed
Right.
or in their kennel. You gotta have rules. Just like, I think people forget that, like, you're bringing some extra stuff. I don't want to say baggage into the relationship. Just like if you had children and the children were not your partners, people are expecting your pet or your children to be well behaved, and this dog apparently is not very well behaved if it's barking all the time and it's always lying on Chad's leg, which anybody that's trying to sleep, that's not going to feel good. um yeah, Belinda is a newlywed. She's still a newlywed, and yeah, and so is her daughter, that she thinks she should ask advice. Been married all of like 5 seconds, and she's asking the daughter for advice. Okay, like, what? That is so crazy. That is very crazy to me. See there, it did it again. It did it again. It shows up twice on my board here. But anywho, moving forward. Keep moving forward. Don't get distracted, Aubrey. Don't get distracted. Okay, so with all that going on, so then Dr. Pia, then we have Dr. Pia make an appearance. Okay, Dr. Pia
Hmm.
comes in. She's looking good, as always, looking beautiful. She comes in and she says, "Hey, we're gonna sit down. We're gonna talk this thing out. I don't want you guys getting a divorce. I want you, we got decision day coming up in a few days. Let's see if we can make it through here." Okay, so they sit down and they talk, and let me go back to, they sit down and they talk, and they're saying the same things we just finished talking about, that this dog is barking all the time. And what she begins to ask Chad is, well, Chad, what is your way of relaxing? What do you do to
Hmm.
cope with stress? And so he tells her, well, I'm kind of an outdoorsy person. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go, go fishing. I'm going to do some things outside. And that is what helps me to relax and to cope. But I haven't been able to do that. Now, also a thing that has been mentioned is that Chad is a combat vet, and he
Yeah.
has a problem with noise. But they're living in this apartment in the heart of downtown Austin, probably, and they're right off the street, and there's nothing but traffic, noise, people talking down in the street, rising up to their
Mhm.
apartment. If you know anything about apartments and homes that and suburb versus city, those are two very different environments in most cases, right? And
Yes.
what do you think? And I'm doing a lot of talking. What do you think about the whole situation with him being a house person versus having to have this time in this condo? I mean, in this apartment, and then also he's missing time with his clients and his work. What do you think about that, Kimberly?
Yeah, that's a great point too. I didn't like the way Belinda quickly dismissed the fact, like you said earlier, about the dog was not barking, because neither one of them know if the dog is or isn't barking because they're not there. And that could easily be solved with getting a cheap camera and putting it
Yep.
in the house. And then, like he said, when he's approaching the house, of course the dog is going to start barking if somebody's in the yard. That's what they're supposed to do, I guess. But I just don't see Chad trying enough. It's like Belinda does want to be around him, and
Okay.
but
Okay.
it's just his personality is a lot to deal with.
It's
You
he's
know, like you said.
he's abrasive. He is abrasive.
Yes.
I'm not saying Chad is perfect. I was talking
Mhm.
to Kimberly earlier, and I was saying to Kimberly that I guess I feel a certain kind of way, a certain kinship with Chad, and that's probably because I've got a daughter who's former military. I have a father who's former military, and a few of my exes are former military, and I feel like I understand them a little bit better than probably a lot of other civilians might understand them. And I sympathize with them. And I think the thing that I always keep in mind, not to say that I'm going to put up with everything from a civilian, I mean, um, a military man, but I think the thing that I also keep in mind, though, is while we're here in America enjoying our freedoms, you've got people like Chad who served and saw the worst of things that there could be to see and heard, gunshots and things like that. And, you know, I don't know. I think you just have to have some kind of compassion for this person. You have to try to have, at some point, when do you try to empathize with your partner and put yourself in their shoes and vice versa,
Mhm.
for him too. So I don't know. I don't know if that's
Yeah, because I've had experience with military too, dating my brother, my nieces, my grandfather. But it's just, I don't know. It's, you just gotta reconnect with the civilian world or go to therapy too. If you can't handle the civilian world. I know a lot of people who were military retired or um
mhm.
discharged or whatever, and they just go seek therapy to deal with the world better. Not saying
Yes.
that Chad doesn't need therapy, because in my opinion he does. He's already went off on production twice, and this,
Yes.
I'm sure we're not seeing it all.
Yeah. Well, they did show us some clips, but
Yeah.
I think you're right. I agree with you. I agree with you in this case. I feel like both of them are wounded birds. I feel like Belinda
Mm-hmm.
is a wounded
Exactly.
bird because she gets into conversations about how her ex-husband would
Mm-hmm.
always yell at her and get into arguments with her, and it would become a yelling match or conflict that the
Yes.
children would see, which is kind of scary. And it's almost like when she was speaking at one point, I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, but I had to wonder, was there some physical altercation involved? I'm not saying there was, but I'm
Mm.
wondering, because that could have been too. That could have been too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but yeah, I think the both of them could do with a little bit of therapy. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Yes.
actually thought they made make a nice couple if both of them put their heart and soul into it. Now in this shot, at this point, we see Belinda. So Dr. Pia has her laughing because she says, "Well, you've created this bubble for yourself, but what about Chad? You know, do you want Chad in your bubble?" And that's what I've been wondering. And that's why I say I don't think Belinda really likes Chad like that. I think between his
Mm-hmm.
appearance, because now, hey, hold on a second. You guys remember we all saw Belinda's ex at her daughter's wedding, right? He walked his daughter, Jalen, down the aisle. That was a good looking man, and he was fit. He had all his
Yes.
hair, he had all his hair still, all his teeth, and he was fit because he's a former professional athlete. So that makes me think that's one, she's not very attracted to him physically, and experts say that if you're attracted to your spouse, it's very important for you to be attracted physically to your spouse as well as the characteristics of your spouse, because the physical can bring you back to a place where you want to be in alignment with them, even when you guys disagree on different topics. So I'm
Right.
thinking she looking at Chad, she like, that big belly. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Kimberly? What do you think?
I still think she's trying because she's affectionate with him. She's saying she wants to be around him. It's not like she's like, oh, good, I'm so glad he stays on the couch all night. She's like, no, I want you to come to bed with me. I want us to lay down and, cuddle and talk or whatever. I feel
Mm.
like she's really trying to be in his space. So maybe there is some light there because it can come from the personality too, not just looks. So I really think that she's trying to give him a fair shot, and because she's not pushing him away, she's wanting complaining about not being closer to him.
Oh, okay.
And then let's not forget he's been divorced how many times?
You have to bring that up, doggone it.
Are we seeing why? I know his ex-wives are like, see?
I want to know if Felicia's giving them some insight. I want to hear more, Felicia, how that makes you feel about Chad. If you empathize
Ooh.
with them, if you kind of see some of the military people that have been in your family, do you see some similar characteristics? Perhaps, I don't know, but let us know in the chat because I'm really curious to see, because that's important that you were Army bred. I didn't know that. Chad
Mhm.
also has pets, but has not introduced them to Belinda or her dog. Correct. And can you imagine that if her pet thinks that they can sleep in the bed with them, then he's got maybe another dog. I think he's also got a cat. His dog is gonna be like, well, wait a minute, you can't give me them rules, but you're not giving them to her children. I mean, her dog.
Right.
Oh, wait a
Right.
minute. What? Mona? Who's the cheater? Oh, the husband. Oh, yeah. I was talking about his physical characteristics. I wasn't talking about his moral characteristics or anything like that. Her husband was a cheater, but he is fine. No, I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying that and this is the person that she's got to compare Chad with. That's the part that I was saying. She's comparing Chad probably with him. Um, I get the idea that both her and her daughter kind of like maybe kind of a little bit on the mm, clout chasing side. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but I think they're both clout chasing.
It's
Mm,
possible.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Kimberly's in the comments. Okay. So moving forward, we're gonna move on. Their situation with that, and I'm trying to remember. So we had uh okay, they're saying, and we're gonna have them saying goodbye. We got them saying goodbye because we're gonna move on to the next couple here. So that's the end where they're the end of the two episodes where they're waiting for decision day, right?
Yeah, but Chad did make one comment. He said, let's just wait until all this filming is over and then
Mhm.
figure ourselves out. So then it
Okay.
makes me think that he's going to show a different side after filming stops. I
Well,
didn't like
yeah,
that comment.
you didn't. Oh, you didn't like that
Nope.
because you didn't like that because why? I'm sorry.
It made me feel like he's not showing his true self, and so now she's going to get a different person off camera that than she did on camera, and that's not fair. Because now
Well,
we've spent what 50 some days with this person.
hmm but I guess he's saying too, though, like this process is not normal, right?
Yes,
So on the
right.
one hand, I see your point because you're gonna use it sounds like you're saying it makes sense to me too what you're saying, because here's the time where they want you to judge these 2 months, right? They want you to judge
Right.
this person, but he's saying, but I'm not my normal self because I'm in an apartment where it's noisy and it's urban. I'm used to a quieter, more peaceful surrounding. I'm not used to my schedule being cut into because I actually work for a living. And see, the thing I'm wondering with Belinda is nobody's really calling it out, but Belinda, what does she do for a living? We know what everybody does, I think, on this whole thing except for her. What does she do for a living?
Hmm.
You see what I'm
Not
saying? So
sure,
like,
but yeah, it's usually in the notes though, right? But are you saying nothing was in the notes for her?
no, I don't have anything in
Okay.
my notes for her. Is she a hairstylist? I don't know, but I just get the sense that her job is not how can I say it? Like some people have jobs and some people have careers. And some people have jobs and careers that mean a lot to them. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
I'm not getting that sense from him. Yeah, I'm not getting that
Mm-hmm.
sense from him. So that's what I'm concerned about. But yeah. Yeah. And then Mona is saying that Belinda's ex-husband probably is dating younger women. Of course, you know he is. You know he is. And even Felicia says yes. And then was no one can really make a good judgment after 2 days, two
Maybe
days or
2 months.
2 months. Okay, 2 months. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. My thing is if I ever was crazy enough to go on this show, honest to goodness, unless I saw like extreme red flags or a lot of red flags, the guy seems like he's maybe on the down low, he's abusive verbally, physically, mentally, emotionally, like catchy. Um, yeah, Ikechi from last season. Unless I seen those type of things, though, if we're getting along and everything seems to be like above 60%, let's say 70%, like he's got his bad things or thing habits that I don't like, maybe whatever, I don't know, little things. I think I would still stick with the person and make my decision after filming.
Exactly. I would too.
Because what was the point of you coming on here to get married if you finding a lot of things about this person that you like, you're attracted to them, they make you laugh. Okay, maybe he snores real loud at night and that really gets on your nerves or something like that. But who is this perfect person that you're going to find anyway in life? Who is that? Who's this perfect person?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand. Okay, 2 months. Yeah, you were right. She was saying 2 months, not 2 days. Okay, so but moving on from them, um, they're gonna say their goodbyes, and God help them. God give them strength because they
Yes,
they're
yes.
but now we're on to our favorite woman on the show this season, and that would be Rhonda, because she is a barrel of laughs, and she's not a bully or anything like that. No, she isn't. Don't say that Rhonda is a bully, because just because she verbally assaults Pat all the time, puts him down, tells him about her calendar and don't be booking her for no concert tickets to be hang out with his mom, and he's trying to do a nice gesture. Um, I don't understand Pat. Like, so Pat maybe should have been matched with Belinda because Pat is very low key. Pat is very
Mm-hmm.
passive, and Pat allows people to use him, unfortunately, as a doormat. What do you think, Kimberly?
Yeah. I think that could have been a better pair. I hadn't thought about those two together, but I can see it would I think Belinda would have appreciated the conversation where she says what she has to say and then takes this attention and put it back on him versus where Rhonda doesn't like that because some people just see that as a conversation. Rhonda sees it as him being selfish.
Hmm.
So I think yeah, it could have been a better pair.
Yeah.
Or Rhonda and this friend that we saw later on in the season, because Rhonda
Oh
gave him
yeah, yeah.
a
Let's
long
let's
hug.
let me find that. Let me find. Hold on, because I think I have that in here. Rhonda,
I said
did
that
it
was a
make it in here?
long hug.
Oh, did you notice that she said, wait a minute, hold up. She said, yeah, that was a long hug. And she told Pat when she got ready to sit down, she said, should I sit here and point to the seat next to him, or should I sit over there next to Adrian?
Right.
She ain't
But I think he
fooling
had a
me.
ring. Yeah,
Huh?
I think he had a ring on his
No,
finger. I don't know if it was the
I
left.
double, triple checked. No, he did not. Not on his left hand.
Oh,
Mm-mm. No,
okay.
he did not. No, he did not.
Yeah,
But
I
what
saw
was
something on the ring finger, so maybe that was the right hand.
yeah, it could have been the right hand, but
Okay.
I double check. I'll be looking like this is his left,
Yes.
this is his right. I was looking, and that's not to say that he's not married, because I know a few guys that are married, happily married, and they just don't wear rings. So
True.
go figure, go figure. Oh
Well,
wait
he
a minute.
got this wisdom from somewhere because he was very helpful.
Mm, okay. Yeah, I can see her doing that kind of job. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Ooh.
But I don't think that's something that she's passionate about. I just didn't get that feeling. And I guess my point was, never mind my point. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. But I just think she's out here fishing. I don't think she was really, really serious about this whole show thing. But anyway, um, so we got these two hugging. But now here's what's funny about them. So we get this conversation, kind of a confessional, if you will, from Pat. And he's telling us, this is his long-term friend. Like I think over 20, 30 years, they've been friends. And he appreciates his advice. So he goes and tells him what's going on, gives him the short version. And the friend is like, "Oh yeah, I understand. I understand. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, she shouldn't do that. She shouldn't do that." Now, as soon as Rhonda gets out and gives him this great big old hug in her fantastic muumuu that she loves to wear, because one thing Rhonda gonna do, she gonna insult Pat and she gonna wear a muumuu. Okay, so she got this muumuu on. The muumuu was cute. Now I'm not. Hey, she got me looking for a muumuu like that. But so she tells the guy Adrian, "Oh, this is what I was crying. I had tears, boo-hoo. I had tears coming down, streaming down my face. I was boo-hooing and I was all upset." And Pat goes and says XYZ about himself. And I just don't understand. What is the friend going to do? You are right, Rhonda. You are right. Pat, why did you do that? Don't do that no more. And then poor Pat is sitting there looking like he's about to cry. And then he says, "Well, I just don't know why I do that. I just don't feel like I can be myself, though." And then his friend says, "Oh, BS. You can be yourself every day you wake up and every day you're alive. It's a chance to be yourself." Rhonda gets up, runs to the ladies' room, and has production come after her and ask her, is she okay? And she's like, "Well, I'm gonna be okay, but I just don't understand how Adrian can come in and after 4 minutes of listening to me, he understands it. He perfectly gets it, but yet Pat doesn't get it at all." What did you think about that, Kimberly?
I was agreeing with the friend because he knows Pat better. Adrian has been around Pat just like our friends and family know us. That's why they say bring in your accountability partners who know you so they can
Okay,
call you
okay.
out on your stuff. And that's exactly what he did. He did not hold back. And hopefully Pat would make some changes. I don't know, but I could understand Rhonda's relief too and her emotions because this is what she's been saying all along, and then for this guy to come in and agree so easily, it was just like, oh my lord, I felt sorry for Pat.
But you don't, yeah, but you don't feel like the friend threw his friend under the bus, because why isn't there more of a compromise? Like, yeah, some of the things she's saying could be true. However, since he didn't see the footage, because he won't see it, they filming this and it doesn't come out till like this year, which was probably last year
Mhm.
when they filmed it. How come his friend didn't have the wherewithal to understand that you're not getting the full picture of what she's saying? We've watched this lady for weeks and weeks now. Anytime this man talks about something that pertains to him, and like you said, what most people would consider a conversation, she wants it to be a monologue all about her, because her dad wanted a boy born and not a girl. That, according to her, that's all the reasons. Like, she's got all the reasons and all the excuses every time Pat tries to correct her. Like, even when he pulled the car over, "Well, my father wanted a son," and da 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 da. I'm sorry, Rhonda's giving strong narc vibes at this point. She's giving strong
Mm.
narc vibes. She's giving a person who, no matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, she's always going to find fault with Pat, especially because she sees that he's vulnerable. She sees that
Mhm.
he's passive, and she knows that he's a people pleaser. Here's what I'm thinking that would happen with the friend. I think that he didn't intentionally throw Pat under the bus, but what I'm gathering from looking at the two of them, sometimes like attracts. Like, in your life, your friends can be very similar in personality and character as you are in a lot of ways. And I think that
Yes.
he's a people pleaser. And I think that Adrian saw her come out with that whole crying thing. And he was like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to say what sounds good to her." And earlier he said what sounded good to Pat. I think that's the kind of friend he has. I don't think he has a friend that is this wise truth teller, but I think he has a friend that's like himself, and he's a people pleaser.
Got it.
That's, I mean, I don't know. It could be some other thing going on there. This was what was funny to me when Rhonda reached over and told Pat, "Be who you are, be yourself." And she was like, I mean, she said in her best cheerleader voice, "Be you, be all that you can be." It sounded like a military advertisement for a minute. "Be all that you can be in the United States Air Force." And she put her hand all over his chest, like to his heart. And she was just she's so theatrical to me. Like everything about
Yes.
I work with a lady. Let me tell you something. I'm having PTSD right now. Okay. And I'm not military or former military, but I'm having PTSD right now because I work with the lady who is very difficult to work with because she's this type of person like Rhonda. She's very dramatic. She makes the biggest deals about the littlest things. And then she also will take the truth of what happened, factual situation that happened between her and she will turn it around and twist it. And so it's very hard when you work with somebody or live with somebody that is trying to gaslight you, trying to change the facts to something that's similar, but it's not really what happened or what was said. That's the
Hmm.
vibe I'm getting from Rhonda. She's a narc. And I know we're not supposed to use that word. We're not supposed to say narcissist, but I will say she has very strong narcissistic tendencies because every single freaking thing is about her.
Yeah.
And it can't be that way. That's not a relationship. If it's all about you, it's not even about, she never even makes it about us. She's not even trying to make it about her and Pat. Like it's us against the world. It's us. We're going to go to this concert. And yeah, Pat, I know you didn't check in with me on my schedule, but hey babe, you know what, I am available. I'm going to move some things around that day because you know what, I would love to get to know your mom a little bit better. How about that? Because we see Pat, he spent time with her family reunion and then another time with her three grandchildren. What has she done for Pat?
Nothing.
Anything? I'm interested in knowing,
Nothing.
seriously. She has not done anything for Pat. Um, the friend. Yeah, I think he's a pushover. That's what I think. Um, let's see who else we got here. There's some other crazy people here on this show before we wrap things up. Oh, we got to get to this person here. We need these two. Um, okay, Brittany and Will. What's going on with Brittany and Will? I'm sorry. Let me get some of these comments before we get all the way. I'm sorry. Go back a sec. Mm, 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 mm. Let's go back and see what the peoples are saying here. I don't never want to leave out our people because they're good people. Uh,
Yes.
okay, yeah, Rhonda. Yes, she is. I think so. Oh, there's El said, "Hey El, hey El." Rhonda was patting him like she does her grandkids, shaking my head. Okay, yeah. Um, do you remember the advice that Rhonda's kids gave her before she married Pat? Oh yeah. No. Didn't they tell her like don't be so over the top or something like that? Miss Wilson? Was that what it was? Something like don't be over the top. Sometimes you can be a little much. Let's see. We did learn that Pat was Air Force. Yeah. Oh yeah. His grandfather was a colonel, and Rhonda treats him like he's feeble-minded. Yes, that's what I don't understand. Because let me tell you something, and if you guys don't know this about me, so my daughter is a graduate of the Naval State U.S. Naval Academy, right? And let me tell you something. To
Nice.
get into, thank you, to get into any of our five United States military academies, West Point for Army, in Colorado, you've got the Air Force Academy, Annapolis, Maryland for Navy, you've got the Merchant Marines, and you've got one other one, Merchant Marines. Who am I leaving out? Because Navy is also Navy and Marine. Oh, sorry, Coast Guard is also in New York. Okay, let me tell you something. To get into any of those five schools where your tuition and your room and board and your dental and your health care and everything else is paid for by the United States government and your parents pay actually $0 for you to be there, to get there, to even get there, let alone to graduate, you have to be in the top 10% of the country's college bound students, okay? You also
Wow.
have to have a government official, a senator or a congressman or the United States president or vice president to acknowledge your character is good enough to go to one of those schools. Okay. So, like I said, the whole idea that she's treating him all feeble minded, that's crazy. That's crazy. This
Mm.
guy, his father was a general and his grandfather was a colonel. It reminds me of, and this is another thing that made me kind of almost kind of saddened by this, because who reminds me of that is you guys remember Senator from Arizona, McCain, Senator McCain. So, he's a United States Naval Academy grad, as was his father and his grandfather, and they were all admirals in the Navy. Okay, so like I don't know. I got a lot of issues with her with that. I'm sorry, I don't want to go on and on and on. She refused his concert tickets with his mom. Yeah, that's crazy. Uh, yes, and Pat. Oh, is that right? Okay. Well, so we know he's not feeble-minded. Now he may be suffering, LC, and this is what I'm thinking too, because I think both of them have grief issues too. He may be suffering with grief from the loss. Now his father just passed away 3 years ago. Now, mind you, Rhonda's dad, not to say that grief doesn't sustain over time and over decades and over all these years and years and years, because I actually believe that it builds. But if you don't get counseling, like her dad passed away 44 years ago and she's still weeping and going to the grave to visit her dad. Like, and I don't have a problem, I'm not saying people shouldn't go visit the grave if that's what you do, but like, how do you have all this built up grief and all this stuff like 44 years later, as if you're not a healthy person that is healed to some extent from that grief? You've talked it out in therapy, you've talked it out with a support group, you talked it out with family and friends. Like, why are you stuck in the past of your dad wanted sons instead of the two daughters that he had? Like, do you understand that, Kimberly?
No, and then she even went into detail about the dad choosing the sister over her, and it felt like the dad liked the sister more and did more with the sister. So then that was just double bad because okay, he wanted boys, and then he chose a girl, and it wasn't her. So that's a
Right.
lot. But I see a lot of people grieve for years, also,
You
like
can grieve
still
your
on their
whole life.
birthdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can grieve your whole life. You can grieve yourself. Let me tell you something. I had a friend. You can grieve yourself to death. Like, I've seen
Hmm.
spouses of people. My girlfriend had breast cancer, and we thought that she had been healed from it. Like, she had, taken the treatment and had surgery and had a vasectomy, all of these things. And for 5 years, they were about to declare her cancer free, because I think they usually do a 5-year thing where they keep watch over you and they give you these
Hmm.
tests. And just on her last visit to her doctor, she passed out. They rushed her to the hospital. They did all these tests, and come to find out, the cancer had jumped from there where they had removed it in the breast. It jumped to her brain, and within 6 months, she was gone. Her husband, who was not even ill at all, like 6 months later, he was gone. He grieved
Hmm.
himself to death. That man stopped eating. He so loved that woman. They had been married for like maybe 40 some odd years. You know,
Wow.
just so you can grieve yourself to death, but the thing of it is that what you want? Do you want a lower quality of life because you're refusing to go get help when there's all this help available in the world? There are counselors, there are therapists, there are support groups. I myself used to run a grief recovery at my church with my pastor. So, and then that's helped a lot of people where you didn't even have to pay for it. You just come out Sunday after church, and we sit there and we have lessons that we go through, and we actually talk about the process of grieving, and everybody gets to
Yeah,
get their point of view out on the table. So I
that's
don't.
necessary.
Yeah, it's very necessary. I don't understand these people that just walk around with all these issues inside internally, and they don't treat it like as if you have diabetes, you go to the doctor and you get help, right? If you have a heart
Right.
condition, you go to the doctor and you get help, right? But all these people have
Yeah.
all these emotional issues and they don't want to get help. I don't understand.
Yeah. And then now her stepdad passed. So what is that going to add on to the fire?
Oh my goodness. When she said that, did you see the way she said it? Did you see the
Yes.
way she said that her her wedding day is the same day as her mom and her, what she call him,
Yes.
her peepaw, which is the stepdad. And then she said, but anyway, she's like, she's so dismissive of the whole. She doesn't respect Pat. Let's just all agree to that. Can we all agree that she does not
Hmm.
respect Pat? And if I think about it, me myself as a woman, I could not be married to anybody that I don't respect because I know I'm not going to treat you right. Even though I'm going to
True.
try as a Christian to be right, I just not going to treat you right because I don't respect your leadership. I don't
Right.
respect your mind. I don't respect your character. She doesn't respect Pat,
So true.
but that's how I see it. I just really feel like oh, Sid, you are hilarious. I'm sorry, that's not Elsie. That's Miss Wilson. Rhonda is nice, nasty. Yes, she is. She really is, and that's why I say she's a narc. Um, because she does that all the time, and she does it too well for it to just be a one time thing. He's suffering from post Rhonda. I'm gonna get you, Elsie. She's suffering, and then Rhonda calls stepdad by his first name. She ain't close to him. Sorry. What did she call him? Yeah, she did Peter or something. I forgot what his name was, but she did one while she called him Peepaw, right?
Yep.
So I don't know. It comes and goes. Yes, my father passed away 2 years. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And sometimes I still cry. Yeah, yeah. It's nothing wrong with the crying. Like my father has been gone. Oh my gosh, it's over. It's over 40 years, right? Um, but it's not that I don't cry. It's not that I don't celebrate the good moments that I think of him, or I don't get sad sometimes, or get misty eyed or emotional around his birthday or different or holidays even. But
Hmm.
I don't allow it to just pull me in. Like I can't live my life. I don't know how to explain it, but you just you don't have to do that. And I'm
Yeah.
glad I went to grief recovery myself because that was part of what helped me. I went, and then when I went and found out that I was facilitator, then I started doing it, even in being a facilitator, that helped me even more. So okay, but okay, let's get over to this couple here. Um, Real quick, let's get over to this couple. What do you think about Derek and Megan? It seems like Derek has taken a liking to this dog that at one while he didn't even want to walk, and now he's crazy about the dog.
They have flipped the switch. It's just crazy how they have been able to just get along. Back to back, we went from screaming and cussing at each other and slamming doors and pointing fingers to now like a whole episode, no issues. They agree on everything. It's just we're just here just because she got pregnant.
Yep, we're here. She got pregnant, and they went to they even went to look at bigger cars. Did you see that?
Yes.
They went to look at
Yes.
bigger cars. And then here's
Yep.
what I want to understand. So this is what I'm wondering. We see Megan and Derek at her home, which I thought was absolutely gorgeous. I'm like, wow, if Brittany wanted people to be excited about her house, wow, look at Megan's house. That's you sure? I had to ask myself, is that not her parents' home? But then I saw the parents come to the front door, and I was like,
Right.
oh, okay, so that's her house. Ooh, she got a swanky house. She got a real
Mm-hmm.
swanky nice house. Okay.
Yes.
So the parents came over, they sat down at the dinner table, and she handed them a present. And when they opened it, it had the two pregnancy tests that she took that said that it was positive. What did you think about that and their reaction?
Oh, I was like, that's exactly what Megan get because she is the jokester. And like her mom said, she thought it was a joke at first, so she couldn't even really show her true excitement because she just thought Megan was playing the whole time. So I said, now the joke's on Megan because she didn't really get the true feelings from her mom because then she was like, oh, it's not a joke. They went on back and forth multiple times, but it's not a joke. And then the mom was
Mhm.
like, oh, well, I am so excited. But she
Yeah,
couldn't show it. She
right,
still
right,
couldn't show it.
right. She had to force that smile on her face. Did you see the father though? Did you see the father's
Yes.
face? He never
It's
did crack a
same.
smile.
Right.
He never
No, because they
did. He
didn't
was,
know what to
huh?
believe. They probably still thought it was a joke. They probably were still holding on to this as a joke because they know how she is. We saw how she did at the cabin. I'm sorry, the couples trip.
Oh yeah, the
How she put
retreat.
all the
Yeah.
little whatevers in everybody's room. So she is the
Yep.
jokester.
She is a jokester, right? But that was a pretty big joke. But wasn't it her mother that was saying she wanted a grandbaby by December? She's gonna get her wish,
Exactly.
apparently. She's gonna get her
Yup.
wish because Megan's saying she's due like anywhere from December 29th to like November 29th to December 3rd or 4th, I think she said. So she gonna get her
Wow.
December baby after all.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what struck me as really odd was, and maybe it was just a little bit of fear on Megan's part, when Megan said, "Well, we don't have to stay married to raise a child. We can co-parent." I was like, "What? What in the hot
Mhm.
hell?"
Right. And she was serious about it. I didn't like it. I think this is too rushed. They should have waited. I say people should wait at least a year regardless. But they were
Me
just
too.
ready to, like somebody said in the comments, he just wanted that baby. And she's
He
just
wanted.
willing to give it to him. But like you said, if they divorce, Megan is already willing to be a single mom with
Wow.
her and
Yeah.
raise her children. And how is that going to work? I don't think they're really thinking and considering the children, because that's just not fair to the children to be brought up in a separate home.
No, no, it's not. I agree with you. I think that they should do everything they can to stay together. But they do seem to be getting along together.
They are.
I mean, like
Switch
even
it night
to
and
the
day.
dog and the shopping and
Yes.
okay, like I expect them now. This is my prediction. I expect this couple to still be together at the reunion, and I want to see baby pictures of this beautiful baby that they're gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
so that's on them. And then, like I said, we were getting back to uh Will and Britt. Um, so in the beginning of the first episode, I believe that's 11, we pick up where we left off with Will and Britt because they were at the retreat and she had walked away with tears in her eyes because Will just wasn't saying things the way she wanted him to say it, and she felt unloved. So after Megan went to check on Britt, she came back and the ladies they all told Will, look, you need to go check on your wife. So here he is going to the bathroom asking her, would she please open the door? They talk for a while. He tells her he loves her. She's beautiful, all the things of the thing. Because, we know Brittany must have confirmation of her beauty, must have confirmation that he loves her. And all of those type of things make her feel good. What did you think about their scene in the bathroom, Kimberly?
I loved it. That's what we said. I think one of the last group of episodes, we were wondering if Brittany told Will that she wanted him to come and rescue her when she ran off like that. So I was so glad that somebody at the table, well, I think Megan and Jalen told him to go to the bathroom. And I thought that was great advice. And it was perfect because I was wondering before why he didn't go check on her. And then he really showed his emotions. Like I've been saying, he's too emotionless the whole season, and now he let her know that he loves her, he wants to be with her forever. Like he went all in whispering. It wasn't loud, but he
Yeah, he did
his
that.
emotions.
He said all of that were away from the
And
cameras. I mean, like the mic was on, but the cameras
mhm,
weren't there. So
yep.
I don't know. Me myself personally, I didn't feel so strongly impressed about that. I felt like, if you guys recall, when he got to the door, the way he said, the tone in which he said, Brittany, can you open the door? The tone sounded like he was very frustrated himself. It
Yep,
wasn't the
annoyed.
annoyed, yes, annoyed, thank you, that's the word, annoyed. It wasn't like, um, probably the way Derek, I would have expected Derek, if he went to the bathroom to rescue his wife and check on his wife, Derek would have had a different tone. So, I mean, I don't wanna be
Mhm,
nitpicky like our girl Rhonda on tones and things like that, but here's where you begin to see where he's starting to get frustrated. Like, I think he
mhm.
kinda likes Brittany. I don't know, because when we get to the end of it, you're gonna have to really wonder. Oh, okay, Megan's trying to have that baby before 40. Yeah, because she's 38. Yeah, she was getting it in there.
Wow.
Getting it in. Okay. And she came on this show to pick a guy, for them to pick a
Mm,
guy. I told you this guy acts like Keith from, oh, which one? Talking about Will? Really?
yes,
Oh, you know what? I remember Keith and I don't remember him. I just
me
remember,
either.
yeah, I remember he was married to the girl that was a virgin, remember?
No.
Very, very pretty, slender girl. You don't wait a minute, is that Keith?
I don't remember. No, I don't
You
remember
don't
Keith
remember?
at
Okay, you don't
all.
remember that one. Okay, I think
Mm-mm.
Miss Wilson, tell me if that's Keith, the one that was married to this tall, skinny virgin girl, right? Is that Keith? Iris. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's Keith. That's what I thought. Okay. Yes, I don't remember how he acted though. I just remember that they couldn't really move too far past anything because she had never had intercourse. And apparently, getting married at first sight, she never thought it through that the man might want to have intercourse with his wife. She never thought that through.
Right.
So yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, but okay, so yeah, these two, they got a lot of issues. She's got issues. He's got issues.
Yeah.
And it's
And I
not
like that
good.
his mom talked about his issues too, where she said, you never know what he's thinking or how he's feeling. That's not good in a relationship. You should be able to talk about things and express your feelings with your partner.
I agree. I 100% agree. I'm looking for the but let's talk about that. I don't think I have it up here or it's got knocked around on this crazy board.
It was at the
Uh,
birthday celebration
right,
for him.
right. No, no, no. That's what I say. But let's go ahead. Continue on where you were saying, talking about that a little bit, and we'll draw some points out from that. They went
Yeah,
to
so
his birthday party. Go ahead.
yeah, his 31st birthday, and Brittany invited his mother, which was very sweet and thoughtful. And
Hmm.
I guess Will was just going over what he's experienced so far in the episode. Because by at this point, we are maybe like 50 or so days in. And Will said that this situation really forces you to change and grow. So for him to use the word force, that meant a lot. So later on in the episode, we see some changes that popped up, but it seemed like at the table, he had his head on straight and they were moving in the right direction together.
Hmm.
So for him to just come with this surprise at the end was nonsense to me because it seemed like he was just all talk.
Right, right, right. Because he ended up like, let's see if I can find any of the later on photographs of them. He ended up uh well, they went on. Okay, well, here's another place where more trouble started.
Oh, yes.
They
Mm-hmm.
went on this boat, and I think this was, I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this was like their last activity before they
Yes.
packed up and they had to separate for decision day. But
Yes.
she was telling him, asking him questions about love, and he was giving her answers. He was more, I will say, he was more um verbal than he normally is and more
Mm-hmm.
expressive. But when she got to some part, I don't know how she read this because I never heard him say the word. He said that he loves her with feeling and also with action. And she said, well, oh, but you feel obligated to love me, huh? But I don't feel obligated to love you. I love you because who you are and this and that. And I was like, Brittany, where did you get that from? Did they edit out all of this? Because I never heard him say that. And he even turned to her and he said, well, you know what? Every time I try to tell you how I feel, you discredit my feelings. You discredit what I'm saying to you. And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? This man ain't going to marry her. He is not going to
uh,
marry her because if a man got to keep telling you the same thing over and over again, and you're basically saying, like, I don't trust your words, and
mm,
I don't trust your actions, then what is the point? You don't trust him, so there's no love, there's no respect, there's no understanding there. Because
yeah.
if you really loved him, and then you've also got to trust him. And this is where the experts were telling her before, needs to learn how to be vulnerable, but she doesn't know how to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he finally said, I love you on the boat. That was like, wow.
Yeah, he did. And the
Yeah,
other
I
thing
was
that
shocked.
I was too. But the other thing I was really shocked about, I thought that meant even more to me, was that when they were with his mother going back to the birthday celebration at the restaurant, he kissed her, and a quite nice, not like get a room type of kiss, but a very nice, romantic,
Mm-hmm.
intimate kiss right in front of his mother's. Most men, when it comes to their mothers, they're very particular about what they're going to allow their mother to see. They're going to be with a woman and bring a woman home to meet their mom. That means that,
Mm-hmm.
generally speaking, that they usually really care about the woman, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I thought that, to me, the kiss in front of his mom meant even more to me than the couple of times where he said behind the closed door, without the cameras in the room, in the bathroom, he said, I love you, or something to that nature. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like this show and the people on the show were busy pushing Will before he was ready to say what he wanted to say to her. I feel like they were all kind of pushing him because once she started bringing other people into their relationship and telling them, well, oh, I got this problem with him. I don't think he cares about me. We don't have an emotional connection. She's telling the people, how is that any of their business?
Yeah.
You can't bring all these people, and that's one of the things we've seen over the last several years with math is the more they bring these couples together to have these get-togethers and retreats, the more they start comparing their lives with one another. They think the other couple is doing better than them when actually we're seeing footage the other couple, they're beating each other up back at the apartment, but they don't know
Hmm.
that. They like looking at them how they're smiling and rubbing on each other's elbows, but that don't mean anything. It's all for show.
Yeah, I just don't feel like the couples really put in the work. They all seem either reserved or too in their head, like overthinking, and it just doesn't work for any of the couples to be that way. And then, kind of like Chad said, he wanted to be more reserved and then go all in when the cameras are off. Like, so you wasted 52 months.
Yep,
Is
50
To
days.
me, I
Yep.
just don't feel like they do the work.
Mm-mm. They don't. They don't really want to do the work, and I don't think they come in also open enough. They say, "Well, I'm willing to go outside of my type," and then as soon as they
Nope.
the first day they say, "Oh, he's not my type. His teeth aren't white enough. He got too big of a belly. Get rid of him. I like a guy that's fit."
Hmm.
All of these
Yep.
different complaints when they say, "Oh no, I take anybody that's loving and kind, and he is
Hmm.
important and he is smart."
Yeah.
I don't know. Guys, what do you think is going to happen? Any give us your comments. Drop down in the comment section whether you're live or whether you're on the replay gang. Let us know. Do you think any of these couples are gonna make it next week? What do you think? What do you think, Kimberly? Give me your go down the couples, let's say okay, let's talk about Meg and Derek. Do you think they're gonna make it? At least for the
I don't have a
decision day?
definite yes for any couple. Like I think Derek could say yes and Megan could say no. So I don't have two yeses for either couple. Any of the
Oh, okay.
five.
Any
Nope.
okay, what about what about what about Rhonda and Pat? Surely Rhonda's
I
gonna
could
say
even
yes.
say Rhonda. I could see Rhonda saying no and Pat too.
Yeah, I could definitely see Pat saying no, because who wants to live with a narc? Nobody. Nobody. No, nobody. Like Melania will tell y'all about that. Like, oh, I don't want to live with that narc. But anyway,
Yeah.
what about
Yeah.
Will and Brittany? Oh, we forgot to discuss. I'm sorry. So the last part before we signed off is that Will, they were all lovey-dovey. He was playing with her feet, tickling her feet before he left. Then he gets home and all of a sudden he has this realization, this aha moment, this come to Jesus moment where he says, "You know what? I don't think I can handle Brittany. I'm going to call her up right now and tell her that nope, it's going to be a no tomorrow." What do you think? What did you think about that when he did that?
I think that was so selfish because it was the morning of. She was getting her hair and makeup done. So that was the morning of
Oh,
decision
the
day.
morning of. Okay. Okay.
That's
Well, but I
ridiculous. You could have
it was
waited. I don't know,
what?
because he promised her, "Oh, we're gonna
Uh,
be together." He choked. I don't know if I can say that, but when he
he
was
put his
leaving, he
hand
put his
around her
hand around
neck
her neck
to
and
pull her
kissed
to
her.
in for a kiss. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
like
pulled
that.
her
I
in like
hmm
it was
no.
just everything. Like, oh, we're gonna get two yeses out of these two, and then the next morning, what did you do? Talk to your friends all night? I'm wondering what went wrong. I hope he sought counsel and didn't just make this decision. I would have
All
said
by
yes.
himself. Yeah,
Yeah,
I wonder. That's a good question about the counsel. Wise counsel. I wonder if he spoke with his mom. I wonder
yeah.
if he spoke with any of his married friends.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling though, to me, with him because he has already told us that he is a sapiosexual. He's very intellectual. He does things differently.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask Elsie. She's not here right now, I don't think, but I have to ask her personally. I wanted to know too if anybody thought that Will might be on the spectrum, if he might have a little bit of autism, be high functioning because it's something about him. He doesn't seem to be able to read a room very well. He doesn't take a lot of social cues. So that's why I'm wondering that. But I'm not saying that everybody that has those that appears like that has autism, but I wondered that. I really wondered if he was high functioning autistic. And I also wonder, I'd like to know, we know that she's never had a long-term relationship. I wonder if Will has ever had a long-term serious relationship,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. According to sources, I'm not gonna give it away, but they're saying that the answers on decision day are going to surprise many of us, right?
Mm-hmm. Good, good.
Uh, so I don't know if there's a fee for saying yes, if there's additional pay, but it kind of makes you wonder with Married at First Sight. Because remember that one year, I don't remember what season that was, but it looked like everybody said yes, and we were like, none of you people are actually getting along. What is going on here? Remember
I
that?
think they should all say yes. It's just too soon, and they haven't given up yet. I don't think anyone is willing to give up at this point. So if you're willing to continue learning each other and growing together, just say yes.
Yeah,
Just give us a yes.
you and I talked before we came on the air, and I agree, like to some extent. Like I said, if there's not any type of abuse going on, or
Mm-hmm.
you feel afraid to be alone with that person, because obviously once you say yes and the cameras are gone, you don't really have a backup, do you? Right? But if you don't feel any of those things where it's serious, like it's some kind of abuse, or you have very strong
Right.
feelings about the person being a cheater or addicted to something or other, I would think that they would stay together and kind of give it a go. If you,
Mm-hmm.
especially if, let's say, 75% of the relationship and the marriage seems to be going well, you think this person is a person of good character, you're going headed
Right.
in the same direction. You know, we all know dating is hard nowadays, right?
Yes. And then to
Dating.
find someone, you got three couples with no children. So to go out
Hmm.
into the regular world and find someone with no children, now you got to deal with that person and their children. That's a lot.
Hmm. Yeah, but just make sure you realize though too, these couples that like you said that they have no children, but some of them got these old pets, and the pets are like
Yes.
they are secondary children because people want them up in the bed. They want them to nurse
Yeah.
from their nipples. They they want these dogs to do
Mhm.
everything that a child would do, and it's given a little bit too much. Like the dogs are actually pets; they're not people. And if you're going to make
Mhm.
that dog that priority, then you need to find someone that agrees that the dog can sleep in the bed with them, because not everybody's going to like that.
True.
Not
Yeah.
everybody's gonna like that, but um, oh, the first Chicago season, was that it? Okay, yeah, could have been. It could have been, because I think there's probably been more than one where we had just really bad matches. But with that said, thank you guys for hanging in there, Miss Wilson, Felicia, LC, and thank you for coming through chatting. We respect and appreciate all of you. We'll be back next week. I can't wait though for the reunion, because I think the parts you said it earlier, Kimberly, when we were before we came online, that I think there's a lot of parts that were cut out, and hopefully during the reunion they're gonna pull out some of that good old bean footage and show us what
Yes.
really was going on.
I hope so too. And ask Jalen and about the text with Josh and Chad. I want to know that
Yes.
part.
Yes, 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 because I just really think that's a whole thing. I believe Chad. I actually believe Chad.
Mhm.
I think he may not have like screenshots or anything. I believe Chad, and
Mhm.
I want to hear what Josh is gonna say, because Josh, he loves to lie. But I think that
Mhm.
Josh may have said something to him too. So I don't know. I really don't know. But we're gonna find out coming up next week, guys. So thanks for hanging in
Yes.
there with us. Be sure to like the video. If you haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed and you've got your notification bell on. Make sure you go over there to Kimberly and check her out. Subscribe to her page. And Kimberly, tell the people where they can find you and what you got going on your channel.
Oh, yes. Come on over to Kimberly Reviews here on YouTube, Kimberly Reviews on Facebook. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and I enjoy posting my travels. And then we also do a live chat for Married at First Sight season 19 on my channel once I figure out the time schedule with them dropping the multiple episodes now. So just subscribe and turn your notifications on so you'll know when I schedule my next live. Thank you all for the support.
Thank you. And thank you, Kimberly, for being here, for being so patient with me. You know, we had to muddle through putting up a whole new tab and all of that stuff. But
Yeah.
thank you for being there and being my wonderful, fantastic co-host for so many years now. I've lost track now how long we've been doing mass, but we've been doing it for a while. I know that.
Right.
We're not new to this. We're true to this. Okay, guys.
Exactly.
Have a lovely Monday evening. Have a great week, the rest of the week, guys, and we'll see you back here next week. Okay.
Yeah. Take care.